going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is another live stream here on Oak Bridge Farms. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. It has been a wild one here tonight, but things are finally starting to calm down, getting a little bit more on a level playing field. As you can see behind me, yeah, the room is getting emptier and emptier, and yeah, it's going, it's getting there. We're rocking and rolling, trying to get everything all packed up, ready to go, and looking forward to everything that has yet to come, I guess. But tonight was rather interesting. I was supposed to start the stream here at about 9:30, as I normally do, but had to push it back for just a little bit. So unfortunately, that means that more than likely we're not going to be on super late here. Probably going to be on for about an hour, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. And yeah, kind of go from there. But yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope everyone's doing fantastic. We got Rail Fanning Jonas is back in the lead. Absolutely, absolutely. Got Reaver Time Todd. How's it going, Todd? Hope you're having a great one as well. Says Sir Rail and and First Like. Hey, we got I'm totally on board with other people getting the firsts besides Jonah. I love the competition. I'm not saying I'd rather people get it instead of Jonah. I'm just saying that I love the competitions and how creative people are when it comes to those competitions. I think it's hilarious. And also, Todd becomes a Tier 2 channel member. Thank you very much, Todd. I greatly appreciate it. Jonah says 11 p.m. start. That is a first. That is a first. Absolutely a first. Yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy night. Needless to say, as many of you are aware, and hence the reason why everything here is, missing in the background, is because we're selling our house. We're selling our house. We bought another house, and everything's on the whole not hiatus, but just up in the air. Everything's up in the air. Still trying to learn the process, trying to figure things out. Thankfully, I got a good agent. Thankfully, I got good brokers, the whole 9 yards. So it's just one of those, like, I don't know the process, so it's just one thing after another. It's coming up. Well, unfortunately, one of those things that came up tonight, because we are in current times and everything's done electronically now. There's no paperwork or anything like that, and there's nobody saying, hey, this paperwork needs to be done, or hey, I sent this to you, or anything like that. It's just everything's done via email. Everything's done via email. And I don't know about you all, but my email is like the Wild West of crap. Literally, I get so much spam, so much garbage, so much nonsense that there was a short time in my life where I was like, unsubscribe, 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 unsubscribe. And I was trying everything I could to try and get out from underneath all of these email chains that I'm associated to for some reason or another. It's those data brokers who will sit there and, oh, hey, are you interested in cheaper rates for your car insurance? Let me sell you all this other crap that has nothing to do with it at all. At all. And yeah, I'm on every single emailing list, and now they've got my phone numbers and all. Anyways, so going back to the emails, it's like my email is just absolutely just full of junk mail and just all that stuff. Well, it makes it really difficult to kind of get into those items that you need in order to conduct business. So needless to say, it's one of those where it's easy to lose things in my inbox. Well, unfortunately, I was sent something the other day. I was not made aware of it, and I kind of missed out on it. So I had to scramble tonight, once I found it, to be able to fill out all this paperwork before midnight. Had to be done before midnight. So I'm just sitting there scrambling, trying to get, like, okay, read this, okay, signature, or click a button to put in, my initials, and then, okay, reading, okay, another initials, reading, okay, signature. It's all electronic, so it's just you're pushing a button, you're just signing your life away with a push of a button nowadays. But yeah, it's just, I found that, and found that it had a deadline, so it was just like, no, I gotta got to delay the start of the stream, which I felt terrible about, but it was just one of those I had to do it, just had to be done. Let's see, we got Reaver says it's late night with BDD. You know what? I like that. Reaver, hey. I love it. Will T Gaming, how's it going, Will? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Says, yo, what up? Samuel Wilkinson, how's it going? Hope you're having a great one as well. Says, hi, BDD. Hi, everyone. And Will says, BDD, did you get my last screenshots? I got the screenshots, but because of everything that's been going on today, I haven't had a chance to actually rip through them. Let me see if I can actually set it up to where I can actually put it onto the stream here. Like I said, worst case scenario, I got them, and what I'm planning on doing, because I kind of, had to push back on the start for a couple hours here, my plan is to, if Giants cooperates, that's if, go ahead and likely do another stream tomorrow. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. But let me see if I can pull those in. So even if I don't necessarily get on board right away and be able to have a full stream here tonight, hopefully I'll be able to just do a kind of make-up stream tomorrow. That's my plans. Let's see. Let me see if I can just save these all just real quick. Oh, 21 photos. Bam. And there we go. Yeah, so we'll get these all queued up and ready to go so we can hopefully get right into this. And like I said, worst case scenario, we'll show them tomorrow. Let's see, live stream, screenshots. There we go, perfect. And go here and, whoops, what happened? Bam. All right, so hopefully everything will work out just fine. So we got, Samuel says, prayers for your family and your new home. I appreciate it, Samuel. Thank you so very, very much. Yeah, we're really lucky right now. We got a really great agent. He has been working his butt off, and thankfully he's a friend of the family kind of thing. He's actually my brother-in-law. He's my brother-in-law's best friend from before high school. And thankfully through my brother-in-law, I've been got an opportunity to be introduced to him and all this stuff, and just found out recently hey, he has his realtor's license and all that stuff. It's oh well, that's awesome. We've been kicking around the idea for a while now to sell our home and to be able to purchase a new one. He's oh well, I can do that. And it's well, I mean, yeah, why not? So yeah, no, it's one of those where we're just going through that process, and thankfully things are starting to get to a point where we're able to kind of calm down and breathe, and now we're focusing more on the move, focusing more on being able to, man, does my hat, sorry, just realized that my hat, so for those who are not familiar with ball caps, let me go to this real quick. I don't know if it'll be able to be picked up on camera, but I just realized I've realized my head is hurting, it's almost itching, and it's because, again, I'm not sure if it'll be able to be picked up on camera, but in these bridges, and in all ball caps really, on the front 3 spines right here in the middle and off to the other side as well, there are these little plastic little tines that kind of build out the brim of the hat, and it's to make it to where the hat will always be dome shaped. Without these brims, the whole hat would collapse and look like this. But with wear and tear, like I said, I'm not sure if you can see this on camera. I'm trying to get some of these to be a little bit more pronounced, but you can see some of these spikes start to come out, and it hurts. It hurts. So, needless to say, it's one of those, it's kind of annoying, so I just gotta be gentle and careful about how I set it on my head. anyways, let's put that ball back on. Let's see. We got Will says, not worried about it, man. Ah, cool, cool. Samuel says, thank you, BDD. No problem, no problem. Will says, I'd fly down to help, but I might be getting my left leg drained. Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, you were saying that. Dude, that's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. My dad, kind of a wild story, actually. My dad, he had knee replacement surgery. This would have been probably about 7-8 years ago. It's been a while. And when they originally put in the original device, the way that his particular surgery went is they drilled holes in the bone, like just pilot holes basically, and they were anchor points for the receiving pins that would hold the knee in place. So when you got your knee, you know, like this, you got the cap and like that, but the joint itself kind of works like so. Well, what they did is they drill holes here and here, and then same holes down here, and then the actual prosthetic is, you know, in the joint, kind of right like that. And it's supposed to like separate out the joint and make it to where it's not rubbing bone on bone, because the whole inside of the knee is just completely destroyed on him. Well, what ended up happening is his original implants, these bolts, these screws that were implanted and cemented in, ripped out. That was the original one. And then they had to go in and do an even heavier duty one, because he's a big guy, you know, and all that stuff. Well, unfortunately, he got an infection, a really, really bad one, and his knee swelled up really, really bad. And his knee guy, he ended up going in there and having to get it drained. And they actually had like the tube. He said it was like a big cylinder tube about this big around, and you know, maybe about so long. And he said that he pulled out like vial after vial after vial from his knee. It was absolutely gnarly. He said it was one of the wildest experiences, and he said he could feel like every ounce just coming out, and his knee getting smaller and smaller and smaller from the from all that. It was absolutely crazy. Let's see. Yeah, but I mean, good luck with the leg there, Will. I mean, it's one of those that I'm sorry that you're having to go through something like that and having to, you know, kind of deal with that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Samuel says, "Yep, hat, love hats." Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, for those who've seen me, you know, on my streams and all that stuff, I'm always wearing ball caps, always wearing hats, and it's one of those that it's a rarity to see me without hats, without a hat of some sort. Ball caps, always ball cap, and it just happens over time with the ball caps because of these, you know, if you wash your hats, or, you know, well, you know, I'd hope you'd wash your hats, because, you know, they get pretty gnarly, but these little spines, or these little plastic ribbings or whatever that's in here, they just kind of hang out there over time, and eventually they start poking through, and they just start, you know, so it's one of those, I gotta, especially with this hat, for this one's really bad. Probably going to end up retiring this hat after the move, but yeah, it's one of those that, you know, if I adjust it just so or whatever, then I feel the spines like poking into my scalp, and, you know, not good. Let's see. Will says, BDD wanted me to move some sort. Oh yeah, dude. Well, when you sit there and tell me that you can move a couch all by yourself, I'm kind of interested. In that,
Ralph,
you know. So hey, that's what I'm sitting on right now.
Super chat.
Real Fanning Jonah with $1.99 super chat. Says first super chat. That's awesome, Jonah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Todd says, dang, my screen froze and the stream didn't start. Oh, Todd, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm here, gonna be here for a little while. It's not gonna be a super late night, because my brother-in-law, you might see him kind of passing back and forth in the background there.
Ralph Fanning Jonah has become a member. First membership, Milestone of the stream.
Jonah, you're finding all the new first just so you can tag them all. uh, Jonah with a 13-month membership chat says first membership milestone of the stream. That's awesome, bud. That's awesome. Thank you again. But no, so you see my brother-in-law, he's moving back and forth because he's actually heading out. He's going up to New York here for a little while to visit his sister, and he's got a flight at like 7 in the morning. My wife is going to be driving him out to the airport, so he's scrambling because he had a buddy of his over while I was having all these emergencies going on, and he's now scrambling trying to pick up all of his stuff in the spare room back there. So you'll see him passing back and forth in the background. But Will says, Bree and I are planning a trip to Florida in the summertime. Nice. Absolutely nice. Definitely going to have to do a meet and greet. You'll be, Jonah was the first meet and greet. I guess you'll have to be the second. Unless somebody else snipes it before that. But that's all right. That's all right. We'll say, let's see. Kiwi Sim Farmer, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Says, hi, BDD, jumped in, hit the like for you. I appreciate that, Kiwi. Thank you so very, very much. Jonah, again, with that $1.99 super chat and the 13-month membership chat. Todd says, moving a couch is easy. Moving a double recliner is more of a challenge. That's what this is. When Will's telling me that he's lugging around, big old pieces of furniture, that just kind of gets my ears percolating. So he's like, "Oh yeah, and I can do it by myself and all that stuff." Come on down, Will. Come on down. I need some help. I've got some big furniture to move. I mean, just looking, I've got in this back room over here. Technically, so this room back here is technically my office. So my desk and stuff is in that back room over there, and in the back, I don't know if you can see it over my shoulder, but there's a bed right in the very back over there. I need to disassemble that and get that ready to pack because we got a pod right now, so I'm packing the pod and doing everything right there. I've got pretty much the entire garage is all cleared out, and I've got all the big tools. My dad, he used to be a heavy duty equipment mechanic. He used to work on the big Caterpillar engines for construction companies up there in Michigan. So he's got like all the best of the best, big beefy tools. My brother-in-law and we just loaded the air compressor into the pod today, and wow, that thing is a behemoth of an air compressor. So it's as tall as I am. I'm about 6'2", 6'3", depending what gas station I come out of, and yeah, it's as tall as I am. Big round cylindrical thing. I can't even put my arms around this thing. It's that big. Works off a 220 volt line. It's massive. This thing is just huge. And my brother-in-law and I were just sitting there just hulking this thing around trying to do all that. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. We were trying to get my dad's toolbox. And this thing is so massive, it's 500 pounds empty. Not a single tool in it. 500 pounds. This thing is a beast. And the problem is that so he got a pod for himself, and it's just a little small one. But the problem is that he's got his toolbox, this massive thing, in a storage shed on the backside of the property. Well, the problem is that there's, a step between, his entryway of the storage shed and the ground. And anybody who's ever stepped foot in Florida knows that we don't have dirt here in Florida. The dirt doesn't exist. Dirt is a luxury. What we have is sand. And yeah, you try and take anything across sand, it just immediately buries, especially when it's 500 pounds on rollers, just buries instantly. So my brother-in-law and we are just hulking this thing out. My dad, he's like 68 years old. Sure, he's in that ballpark, and his body is just completely broken. I mean, completely broken. Like I said, he's got knee replacement surgeries, and he probably should have about 20 other different surgeries, but really just it is what it is at this point. He's just always in pain, like back pain and all that stuff. Well, he doesn't bother, he just can't lug around that 500-pound toolbox. So basically, he's pushing, and we're lifting to keep this thing from burying itself. But we can't build a ramp or anything to go down to the ground or anything like that. We're just picking it up because, of course, over the doorway leading into the shed that is there, that he's got it in, is a lip. It's a good metal lip about so big. And what you do is when you close the door hops over the front part of that lip, and the rear is where the actual rubber gasket meets from the door to create the seal around the door frame. And yeah, trying to lift up over that with that 500-pound toolbox, the two of us, and my brother-in-law, he's a big boy. Like he's been in the Navy. He just got out recently, so he's a good sized boy. He's in shape. He's certainly in better shape than I am. And him and I were just heave-hoeing this toolbox, trying to get this thing out of there. So after we finally get it down on the ground, get the front wheels down on the ground, we scoot it out just a bit, we get the rear wheels on the ground, and then we're just trying to figure out what to do from there. And at that point, we're so exhausted trying to just get this thing over, because it's maybe about 10 feet. It's maybe about maybe about 3 feet for the oversized door that my dad has on this shed. So that thing swings out, and then it's maybe another 5 to 7 feet beyond the door to get to the pod. Like, he dropped it off relatively close. And it was one of those where we're just lugging this thing, and we get it up to the lip of the pod, and then all of a sudden we're exhausted. We're just wasted at this point between my brother-in-law and I. So we can't heave-ho this thing up. So we got to get this piece of plywood, and we get it up onto the plywood, the front wheels, and then I go around the back side. My brother-in-law goes around the front just to stabilize it. My dad's on the other side to stabilize it, and I just give it the biggest push that I possibly can. Just the biggest one I can is just get that front wheel onto the thing. Once we get the front wheel on, we're able to drag it on. I mean, that worked out fine, but just long story short, I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted, and this is the easy stuff. This is all the stuff that we can pack for long-term storage. We still got couches. We still got a couch out in the living room there. Got my wife's desk. I'm actually getting rid of my desk because my desk is crap. So I got to get a new one of those. But I mean, we got the washer and dryer that we're taking with us because we've got the two kids, and we went all out for a washer and dryer. That's the one thing that my wife and I, well, specifically me, because I do a lot of the laundry, I specifically said, like, look, I want a good washer and dryer, something that's big. I'm not going to have to do a million different loads, when running laundry and all that stuff, because again, my office is directly behind me. The laundry room is just off to that way, at the other end of my office. So, it just makes sense that if I'm just sitting right out there for 5 days a week working, I'm going to sit out there and do laundry as well. So I told her, it's like, look, I don't want to do a million different loads. It's like, I want to do like 3 or 4 loads at the most, on a really heavy day, and just like set it and forget it kind of thing. So we ended up getting, decent and especially large size capacities of dishwashers, or not, clothes washers and dryers. So yeah, we got to do those. We got to do the beds. We got to do like all the big stuff, and that's where we're gonna rent like a U-Haul and just throw all that stuff on like 3 days before, like 2-3 days before. We're gonna start getting all the big stuff, the dressers and all that stuff. So that's where we're gonna call all hands on deck, call all the, because of course I'm the guy who's called in to help out whenever people want to move. I call him my brother-in-law, but he's technically not my brother-in-law. Like, he would never married my sister-in-law, but he's got 2 kids with her. So I always just refer to him as my brother-in-law, but different brother-in-law, not the one that's kind of traveling back and forth in the background there. But I've helped him move multiple times. The first time I helped him move up to the 3rd story of an apartment complex, and then most recently out of that 3rd floor complex and into a townhouse. So yeah, still more stairs. And I swear, anybody asks me to move to anything with stairs, it's going to be a no from now on. Anything with stairs, no. No. I refuse. But got my buddy, got my one buddy. He's actually taking time off from work so he can come and help. I've helped him. Actually, I helped him move to Chicago. Him and his wife helped them move to Chicago. Hated that. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not a big city boy. I cannot stand going to the cities. I'm always wildly uncomfortable in the city. So it's one of those, me going to Chicago of all cities and be like, oh yeah, and like not just like suburb Chicago. I'm talking Chicago. Like, he lived off of what was it, Michigan Ave? Was it Michigan Ave? Anyways, right in the heart of downtown, like the north side of downtown Chicago. So it was, from what he said, it was a good part of town, but when I went there in 2020, everything was all boarded up and windows were smashed, and I mean, of course, there was a lot of things going on in those times, but good part of town, it's kind of subjective. Anyways, so yeah, calling in all the favors, calling them all in. This is why you go out of your way to do favors for others, so that when you need favors done for you, they don't have a leg to stand on if they want to say no. So that's where I'm at right now, is I get to call in all the favors, because now I'm not going to have to work as hard to take care of all my stuff. I worked hard in the beginning when I was younger. Now that I'm older, now that I'm in my 40s, I don't want to have to work hard anymore. I want to figure out ways to pass on the work. Oh my goodness. Will says, I don't want to be that person, but I feel like there will be 2 new maps tomorrow. Oh man. I mean, here's the thing. Okay. So I mentioned earlier, my plan is that I'm going to try and stream again tomorrow to kind of make up for being delayed here tonight. If Giants releases any maps or any updates or anything like that, I'm going to focus on those. I got to, as part of the channel and all that stuff. But if nothing like that happens, so my plan is the next day that there is no maps updated or new releases, I'm going to stream. That's the plan. And hopefully there's not anything that's going to come up that's going to derail it. But as I've mentioned before, I'm kind of playing everything by ear when it comes to the channel, the live streams, and all that stuff. Is that, which is also why I haven't had any Farm Sim talks here lately. Is reaching out to people and trying to coordinate and do all that, and do a live stream, and move and do like all these different things. There's like so many moving parts, so many things that will and does happen. Like tonight, delaying the start of the stream by an hour and a half. I don't want to, and I can't do that to other people, kind of thing. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, let me book so and so onto the Farm Sim talk, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh hey, by the way, I accidentally lost this email that was sent to me a couple of days ago, and now I'm scrambling to try and fix it before this deadline, kind of thing. So long story short, that it's easier right now to not do the not the live stream, but the Farm Sim talks. And the other part of it is that I do try and do a fair bit of research into the individuals that I'm interviewing prior to the whole actual interview itself taking place. I'll sit there and watch some recent content that they do. I'll sit there and try and interact with, some of their audience and all that kind of stuff, just to try and figure out, who they are, what it is that they do, kind of the highlights of them. So it's to better kind of get an understanding for who they are and what they do for their content, as best as I can, obviously. But the problem is that with being so busy right now, I have no extra time, like none whatsoever. So it's one of those where I would be doing the individuals I'm interviewing a disservice. I feel like I would be not doing them justice. And I want my undivided attention to be on the actual interview and the interviewee, and be able to make sure that I'm doing right, not only by you all who watch the content, but right by them, the people who I'm interacting with and am interviewing for those sessions. So it's on a brief hiatus for now. It is coming back. There will be more. I have been talking to individuals in the background, and trying to schedule them as best as I possibly can. Not schedule it, but like soft schedules at this point. To just get them interested, get them on board with what it is that the show is about. As a matter of fact, I reached out to somebody today, and it sounds like they're definitely interested. And this one I'm really looking forward to, because this is people who I've interacted with quite a bit. So again, looking forward to this one. And I look forward to all the Farm Sim Talk, everybody that I do, anybody and everybody, whether I interact with them or not. I love the stories. I love the stories. Listening to the stories and hearing what everybody has gone through, whether it's through their channels, whether it's through their mods, whatever the case may be. It's amazing to get to talk to the individuals, to interact with them. And like I said, it's one of those that I want there to be pride taken in the product that I'm putting out there for everyone. And I don't want to just kind of, fly by night or just kind of hack it together kind of thing. Because it's a disservice to everybody out there who's watching it. And it's a disservice for the individual who's coming on, who's agreeing to spend the time to do the interview. It's not good for anybody at that point. So it's just better to put it on a brief pause until things calm down. Once things calm down, then we're going to be golden. And like I said, I plan on hitting it hard. I plan on hitting this channel hard, because it's one of those where there's going to be now a dedicated space to it. I'm going to be smarter when I set up that space. Right now, everything's been kind of set up on the fly. I'm in what my wife and I call it the man cave. This room that I'm in is technically an add-on to the house that we're in, and it's a kind of a second living room, but it's like a flex space is essentially what it is. And the room that I'm in, it's separate from the main house, but it does have the pass-through. I mean, because like I said, my office is back there, laundry room is back there as well. You may have seen my wife pass through a little while ago, and it's just one of those, like, the next space I'm going to have is going to be dedicated as like my office / recording studio, like the whole nine yards. I plan on setting it up smart to where this is not going to be like an afterthought. Because I started YouTube, kind of not, I won't say on a whim. I've been like I was contemplating doing it for a long time, but because I didn't have anything kind of pre-established for recording or anything like that, it all just kind of got built out of necessity rather than built smartly. So my hope is that I'll be able to eventually build it out to where it's actually like some forethought is put into it. Like for Farm Sim Talk is a perfect example. Because I work down here, I've got my laptop. So that's what's powering the stream. That's what's running everything right now, and it's just sitting in my lap, kind of thing. But for Farm Sim Talk, it'd be really nice to be able to have multiple monitors running at the same time, to where I can not only be on camera and talking to the interviewee and doing all that, but it'd be also very nice to have multiple screens open, to where I can have, a dedicated screen towards the chat, to where I'd be able to actually see what the chat's saying in real time, having my questions maybe on another screen, and being able to, kind of go through the checklist and all that stuff, and how I want to approach that interview. And then at the same time, being able to just kind of flow between other applications and things like that. So it's just one of those, like, I plan on doing it a lot better when I get into the new space, and then being able to have the flexibility of being able to have not only my kind of office set up within it, but also having like my television and stuff, to where I can record in the same room as I would have my office equipment and all that stuff. Because like I said, my office is out there, and to be able to have my monitors and all that stuff, that's all out there. That's why I sit here with my laptop, because the TV is obviously in this room, with my Xbox and all that stuff. So it's one of those where, long story short, plan on doing a lot smarter, a lot better than what I've done with this specific setup. But again, this was all kind of built out of necessity. So that's my plans. Let's see. Where is it? Jonas says, your brother-in-law should have took the auto train. Right? Yeah, because you said the auto train's going up there towards Washington, so he could have. He honestly could have. But I think he's actually leaving his car. I think he's technically selling it, because what he's trying to do is, I think he's trying to move to New York. But I think he's kind of using this time period with his sister to try and actually get his foot in the door, to where he's actually in the area to do interviews and stuff like that. Will says, I carried a whole fridge. Yes, that was what it was. It wasn't the couch, it was the fridge. That's what it was. Samuel says, great trip, New York, great tips, New York City. Yeah, so he's like, my sister-in-law, his sister, she's actually in like downtown Manhattan. Like, she's like right there, in the heart of it. Like me, no. I have zero interest in going to New York. I have zero interest in going to Manhattan, and going all there. So, I mean, more power to him. It's one of those that I don't have the strength in me to be able to go to a big city like that. Like Chicago, I felt like darn near killed me, and it's not for the reasons that people may think. No, it's just my stress level just goes through the roof when I get into those kind of places. I'm just not comfortable with at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool things in these cities. The food. When I was there in Chicago, having a Chicago dog and going to Luminati's. I think it was Luminati's. Yeah, I think it was Luminati's. And getting like an authentic Chicago-style deep dish pizza. It was delicious. And the food there, I mean, yeah, it's great and all that stuff. It's just, to me, I can make my own food. Like tonight, I made killer pizza and cheesy bread. And, because my brother-in-law, the one that's been passing through, and his buddy, who's also my realtor, he came over, they were hanging out, and they ended up eating some of the pizza that I made. And they were just sitting there just ranting and raving over it. He ended up coming to my office like, Dave, I can't believe the pizza is so good. He's just stuffing his face. And I know he's just being kind, because I'm pretty sure that boy could eat a tire. That boy, he can eat some food. He can really eat some food. But I mean, like I said, you see him passing back and forth in the background there, and he's a big boy. He is a oh goodness. Let's see. Will says, I can lift a front bucket of the front loader myself. You know what, man? I after the fridge, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt it at all. He says, yo, I lost almost. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. See, Jody, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Says hi. Todd says that is what they made plywood for. Exactly. That's exactly what I did. Is eventually we took the plywood and had to. Well, I mean, we didn't put it onto the ground, which we didn't have enough at that point, and I certainly wasn't stopping what I was doing just to go down to Home Depot and get a slab of plywood. But we had like a little itty bitty bit of plywood that we were able to use for the lip of the pod itself. So that worked out fine. Will says, Jody! Samuel says, I'm a mom, 66. My dad is 76. Oh, okay. Okay, so your mom is 66. Your dad is 76. Oh, wow, that's a pretty good gap between the two of them. Jody says, how you doing, Will T Gaming? Oh no, it jumped. The thing jumped. Where'd it go? Will says, all right, you Jody. Nacho Cass, how's it going, Nacho? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Says, passing out like before I crash, buddy. All right, man. Well, appreciate you coming in here and hanging out for a sec. You have yourself a good night and take care. Jody says, pretty good day so far. Awesome, Jody. Glad to hear it. Jonah says, so what you're telling me is you can't help me bring the pool table up 3 flights of stairs. No. I refuse. Stairs involved? No. I'm done. I'm 41 years old. I am done with stairs. I'm done with them. My house, single story, and for a reason. Let's see. Where was I? Samuel says, Penske truck 26. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, like a Penske or what's the orange trucks? Why U-Haul, like the big ones. I'm gonna get the big trucks. I've got like all the big furniture equipment, big old furniture that's going in them. Let's see. Will says, if you ever need help moving and there are stairs, I'm calling it. No. No stairs. Nacho says, 2 men in a truck. Yes. And I'm sorry, but that is a brilliant name, by the way, for a company. For like 2 men in a truck, it's simple, it's straightforward. You know exactly what they're doing. Brilliant name. Nacho says, oh, speaking of maps, Taylor Farms dropped the screenshots for 4 Michigan maps combined into a big 4X. Yeah, so it sounds like that's kind of the same vein as what Cavalier Roy did for his 4X maps there for Riverview, Ebony, Maypole, and was it Glenlathan? I think those are the 4 maps that he basically combined into one mega map. I thought that was brilliant, and that's cool that Taylor Farms is doing something along those lines. Will says, I guess it is a good thing I let BDD know about the new mods and any maps that come out. Ooh, dude, 100%. Especially here over the past couple of weeks that been doing the move and stuff. If it wasn't for those messages, man, I'd be absolutely lost. You know, I just don't have time. I don't have time to look at this stuff. You know, and the only reason I have time, to come on and do streaming or do content and stuff like that is because it's so late at night that, I'm not going to go out into the garage and start loading stuff. I can't go into the pod because there's no light in there. I could put my phone and potentially like sit there and like, okay, right there. I can put stuff right there. And then I can take the one hand with the box and the other hand with the phone and just kind of, heave ho. Yeah, no. Let's see. We got Ken. How's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Says, what up, people? What up, Ken? Nacho says, hey there, Ken. Ken says, what up, Nacho? Jonah says, my friend jokes I can eat 3 pounds of food and lose 10 pounds. Oh, I'm jealous, Jonah. I'm jealous. I eat 10 pounds of food. I gain 30 pounds of weight. Samuel says, yesterday fun day, NCAA football, spring football game, Mississippi State versus Mississippi. Oh, like a inter team play. Nice. And Jonah says, "Go Bulldogs." I mean, I'm kind of a go blue fan. You know, a little Wolverine action. It's where I'm from. It's where I'm from. Let's see. So, actually, I can close these tabs. I don't need these tabs anymore. Jonah. I didn't say I was done. I didn't say that you had to chime in there and do the 1, 2, 3s. Nobody said that. No. Jonah says, Discord, shh, don't tell Pete. Uh-oh. What? Are you two plotting on me? What are you plotting? I know you two have been talking. I know you two have plotted something. I don't know what it is. I still haven't figured that part out yet. I'm half expecting y'all to drop it here sometime soon. Don't do it. Be nice. Oh, the chiselbacks. These plows are my enemy. Especially these ones. These massive ones that have that kind of rear articulation right here behind the 3-point. These are the worst. The absolute worst of the worst. I mean, at least the chiselbacks that have like these. Yeah, even this one here. This one here is okay if I remember right. No. Okay, no. These three. The Pottinger, the Agramaz, and the other Pottinger. These ones are fine because they have a fixed point, so you can predict exactly where they're going to land. You know, like you can it's still a pain, but you can predict it. But these ones actually articulate right behind the 3-point setup right there, so they won't ever land in the exact spot that you had the time before. It's just always going to be a kind of random setup, and it's a nuisance. It's a pain. It's a giant pain. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's do this. All right. So yeah, right now we're just finishing off a bunch of contracts. We had these in the last stream that we did here on Oakbridge Farms, and we started them, but we didn't finish them. So here we are kind of finishing them. I don't remember what I was doing in these fields. I mean, you can see fertilized. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy. Was I fertilizing these maybe? But what's weird is I don't have a fertilizer on the back of this. I don't remember turning it in. I wonder if maybe I downloaded something and deleted it on accident, not thinking. But you can see I had to have been fertilizing this field. I had to have been. No, it is this one. Needs rolling. Yeah. Okay, that's exactly what I was doing. I was fertilizing my fields. But for some reason, I don't have a fertilizer on here. Like did I sell it back for some reason? I don't know why I would have done that, though. Doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I am really curious, though, about what you and what Jonah and Reaver are plotting. I know you all are talking. I know you were plotting something against me. You were kind enough to hold off on the last stream, because I was a wee bit stressed on the last stream. But great thing about doing these streams is that it was very calming. I got to get my mind off of even though I was sitting here talking, ad nauseum about what was going on, what was stressing me out, and all that stuff, I was able to just kind of kick back and relax and kind of just let it all release, I guess is probably the best way to put it. It was just nice. It was really nice to be able to kind of to do that. I don't know what this kicks out to, and I don't want to... See, I know this one does 42 meters, so let's just do this one. Yes. Whoa. That's a big old tub. I hope I don't need to wait for this thing. There we go. Okay, so Jonah says, will you never tell you, but you're gonna have fun with it. Okay. I like fun. Todd says, sorry, too early to tell you, maybe a hint? Nah, no hint. Aw, that's no fair. Let's see. Jonah says, here's your hint. You're just gonna have to wait for it. Oh, come on. What is up with that? That's just mean. Taco! How's it going, Taco? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. This is good evening, all. Good evening, Taco. Whew. Let's see. And full. Oh, all right, cool. All right, so it looks like my tractor's beefy enough to handle this. This thing is huge. Like, this is a huge spreader. I didn't realize this spreader was this large. Like, it's like wider than the tractor. Why didn't I ever realize how large this thing was? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Oh, but no, so I was saying earlier I made some killer pizza. It turned out absolutely perfect. So I love to cook with cast iron. Love to cook with cast iron. I've been telling my brother-in-law about it a lot here lately because he's genuinely wanting to learn as much as he possibly can. And I have no problems with, giving my opinions on things, as many here will know. But no, I was telling him, it's like, man, I love cooking with cast iron because it's just very predictable. Unlike some other kind of cookwares and stuff like that, it can be very unpredictable. But I have a cast iron pizza pan, and it makes some of the best crispy bottom crusts I've ever done. I absolutely adore it. So I ended up making a really killer, it was a pepperoni, ham, and mushroom. And the sauce that I used, it had ground up sausage chunks in the sauce itself. Man, was it so good. Oh my goodness. And then I made like a homemade cheesy bread to go with it, and that turned out amazing. As like kind of a base, I ended up doing a let's see how this turned out. Nope, wrong way. Oh, I missed every corner on this thing, of course. So I made the dough, rolled it out, and whatnot. After I rolled out the dough, I ended up taking some butter, some homemade garlic, or not homemade, some butter, some garlic, did like a kind of a rough chop to it, melted the butter, put the garlic in it, and then added some salt. And I let that sit for I don't know, maybe about an hour is just kind of, so it had enough time to kind of re-solidify. I, ended up throwing it back in the fridge, and I put it back into the microwave to, melt it down again. And I got my sauce brush and I brushed that all on the top layer of the cheesy bread, and then I covered it with the mozzarella, threw it into the oven, let that bake for a while, and then kicked on the broiler for a high heat bake for about 2 minutes, and it got the top all nice and crispy. The bottom, because of the cast iron, was all nice and crispy. It was nice and pillowy on the inside. Oh, it was so good. So good. I might go and get a slice after the stream. I really shouldn't, but don't tell anybody. Let's see, not only... Oh my goodness, there's still a corner I missed? The corners! The bees! The bees! All the bees! There we go. And now... let's get this. Just like so. Alright, that's golden. Alright, so this isn't an actual field as of yet. So I need to eventually turn this into a field, but not right now. So I need to go over here. So what I need to do is cut through. I can cut through here and I can save myself a little distance. Whoa! Whoa! What the, why? Why? No! Save me! Bob and weave! Stick and move! Oh! Oh no, I'm making it worse. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Whew. Breathe. Breathe. I don't know what I just hit there. Made me tip over like that, but I don't like it. Oh, hey, what the? What is going on here? I just clipped something? Alright. Let's see. So, yeah, it's over on this far corner over here. Yeah, I see it. There it is on the map. It's coming into view. Alright, so get this little chunk over here done. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. Let's pan out just a little ways. Ooh, cultivating's at 95%. That's nice. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Todd, you're too much. You're too much. Oh, okay. It involves farming and some kind of field work. I could have never have guessed that. Oh my goodness. I would have had to hire Sherlock Holmes himself to figure that mystery out. Oh, that was pretty good. I like that one. As you can tell, I'm in a much better mood than I was in the last stream. In the last stream, I was genuinely just absolutely losing it, just freaking out. You know, every little thing that could have gone wrong did. Oh, I don't think I actually said this on the last stream. So okay. So to kind of give everyone the overview of what's been happening in Big Daddy Dave's life. So as I mentioned, I'm selling my home and I'm buying a new one. I mentioned that. Well, the thing is that we found the home. We found the one that we really, really liked. But then we had the inspection. Turns out that the home that we originally found was rented for about a year. And the people who rented it treated it as a rental. I.e., they didn't care. They didn't care whatsoever how they treated it, what kind of condition they returned it in. It was, yeah, it had some hidden dangers, is what I'll call it. So, one of the things that is very prevalent down here in the state of Florida are things called gopher tortoises. And I think I mentioned this in the last stream. And there were 2 holes in the yard. And these gopher tortoises make dens. They burrow under the ground and they'll make these dens. Well, I thought that the reason why the gopher tortoise in this state is so highly protected is because of the gopher tortoise itself. And it is, but it's in combination with something else. So there are these things called burrowing owls. I'd never known this before, but the burrowing owl will live in conjunction with the gopher tortoise and utilize their homes, their burrows, in order to kind of survive. You know, the owls will just kind of live underground kind of thing. Well, then there's another thing I found out here recently, is that not only are there gopher tortoises, not only are there burrowing owls, there's also rattlesnakes that love these holes. And anybody who knows me knows I hate snakes. I hate snakes. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Destroy them all. I say just destroy every single one of them. Can't stand them. Just no. They have no legs and they have no reason to move. It's just no. Just snakes, evil, devil's work. Just no. So anyways, yeah, part of the reason why they're so protected and why you can be imprisoned if you mess with a gopher tortoise and their burrow and all that stuff is because inside there could be these silly little owls on top of the gopher tortoise. So, yeah, it's just all a whole cacophony of ridiculousness that's going on there. Empty what? That's so weird kind of bucket. Huh. Anyways. So we did... Wait a minute. Oh, I remember. I'm dumb. I are not smart. I are not smart at all. Nope. I remember what happened. I remember what's going on here. I was putting fertilizer in my fields. I was using the digestate from the production point here in here at this fermenting silo. I was using the digestate that was being utilized from the silage and the hay to fertilize the fields. I completely remember that now. But for some reason, I must have deleted the mods, the slurry spreaders that I had. That's exactly what I did, because I removed a whole bunch of JMZ's mods that I had downloaded, and I forgot I was utilizing them. I must have deleted it while I had it leased out. Oh, why? Why are I so dumb? I are smooth-brained. No ridges, just smooth. Anyways, I mean, it works out. I had fertilizer here and all the stuff here for it too, so it really didn't matter. Let's go. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's see. We got Ken says, so what did I miss? I had to help Pippa with construction delivery on Westbridge Hills. I'm just saying how happy I am. Just having a good old day. It's, finally able to kind of relax, let my hair down and just have a good time. So yeah, that's basically it. Taco says, I have a Salox spreader, bit modified, that can do lime and fertilizer, working with 14 meters, holds 13,000 liters, costs $2,000. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Jonah says, I tell you what, we're planning if you mail me a slice. I mean, I can mail it to you, but it might be a little rancid by the time it gets to you. I mean, does it count if I'm willing to mail it to you? Does that count? A shop yard needs organizing. Yeah, it does. Taco says, about that house, do you receive the rent money? No, landlord needs to fix these problems, not you. So no. So the house that we were looking to buy previously was leased out. It was rented for a year, and then it sat vacant. And the current owner, was really motivated to sell it. They wanted to get out from under it because it's out kind of on the outer perimeter of I don't want to say it's a development because it's not like an HOA or anything like that, but it's a part of this larger network of homes. But it's on the very back end. So because it's so far on the back end of this kind of development, it's not convenient to get to anywhere. I don't care about that. I don't care about, hey, if I got to drive 20 minutes to get to the store, so be it. I'm fine with that. As long as it's quiet. That's what I care about the most. Now that I'm in my 40s, I want peace and I want quiet. I don't want cars driving by at 3 in the morning, thumping their stereos. I don't want, kids come cutting through my yard because I live currently on a corner lot and I just missed my turn. I don't want I don't want any of those. I don't want any of the hassles of living in the city anymore. Which I live in the city. I live in a city, and I can't stand it. So I'm to a point to where I want the more kind of not rural living necessarily, because I don't think my wife would tolerate that much. I would be fine with it. I would absolutely love it, but certainly more into the burbs than what either one of us have been in for a long time. And yeah, it's one of those where so through the inspection process, we found there was a bunch of bad tiles in the home. The person who manufactured the home did not do a good job on making sure that the tiles were seated properly and whatnot. Then they also found that the roof was all misaligned when they were laying down the shingles. And because it was all misaligned with the shingle work, there were huge gaps in the actual roof itself, so could lead to leaks over time. On top of that, there were already several loose shingles on the house. So there was just all these different problems, and the one that topped it off, and ultimately what made my wife and I decide this isn't going to be our home moving forward. The previous renters must have had a bad leak in the spare bathroom, So bad, in fact, that when they tried to turn off the water at the shutoff valves that are under the sinks, they ended up breaking both, not one, but both of the shutoff valves. So it was just one of those that the water had rushed out so badly, the entire cabinet was destroyed. My issue with that is the cabinet itself is like kind of surface level kind of thing. If for those that don't know, if you have water and it leaks, it can run behind the cabinet and into the walls without removing the cabinetry. Like, the inspector can't tell me if it got to the wall. They can only tell me, oh, well, I can see it certainly got to the cabinet, because the cabinet was destroyed. And their brilliant idea was to throw down melamine over top of the cabinet, over top of the bottom plate of the cabinet. So it's like, okay, well, all you just did was just trapped all the moisture in the cabinet. Like, you didn't give it a chance to air out or nothing. So, needless to say, after all that was said and done, we discovered that. But anyways, I was saying how the water can run behind the cabinet and can get into the wall. And if it got into the wall, it gets into the actual studding of the wall. Well, eventually that's just going to breed, problems with bugs and stuff like that. So it was just one of those, it had too much wrong with it and too much possibility of things being wrong that just wasn't worth taking on. So we were in our inspection period, and here in the state of Florida, you get X amount of days to be able to be like, okay, we're going to move forward or we're going to end the deal, kind of thing. And there's no consequences or anything like that. The estate or the realtor that's selling the thing might not ever work with you. Like, if you decide, okay, well, I'm backing out of this deal and I'm now wanting to re-enter into either a new deal with another house, and it just so happens it's the same realtor or something like that, the realtor might say, no, you already you were into this deal, and now all this time and energy was dedicated into it. We're no longer going to deal with you, kind of thing. They don't that's not guaranteed, but it's a possibility. Oh, but I was starting to talk about the gopher tortoises. So there were 2 holes in the front yard of that other home, and I thought that they may have been gopher tortoises. But after speaking with the inspector, and he was a good old boy. And honestly, the best inspector I've ever hired. I've only hired one other inspector in my life, but was super highly impressed. He found every little thing. And when I say he's a good old boy, he was a good old boy. But what was hilarious is, let me tell this first story. So the holes, I thought they were gopher tortoises at first, but then he's like, those aren't gopher tortoises. There's no way those are gopher tortoises. It's like, I look at him, it's like, well, how do you know? He's like, well, think about it, man. The gopher tortoise is like this. It's like a big kind of oval. Not even oval, like a kind of like this. It's kind of flat on the top, flat on the bottom, and then rounded on either side. So the hole is going to mirror kind of what the shell looks like. It's just big enough for them to get into the den, and the den's all kind of bigger and carried out, kind of thing, like caved out. So this is more like this. It's more kind of like rounded almost. He's like, that's more than likely that's an armadillo. And he's like, and an armadillo is infinitely worse than a gopher tortoise. A gopher tortoise is going to dig a den maybe 5-10 feet down and they're done, kind of thing. An armadillo, they're just going to root around, dig up everywhere. They just burrow around everywhere, kind of thing. So they can actually create damage, kind of thing. To where the gopher tortoise, yeah, it can create damage, but it's not going to create like a massive amount. And they're going to tend to dig out towards away from structures, because they're not going to want to find restrictions. They want to find openness to create the den, kind of thing. So they tend to kind of peer away. But the armadillo, they're just digging to dig. They're just going every which way, kind of thing. So there's going to be tunnels and networks and all sorts of nonsense. So what we ended up figuring or thinking is that and that was the other thing, is because the armadillo had dug up by the air conditioner and actually pitched the air conditioner. And anybody who doesn't know anything about air conditioners, they have to be perfectly level when they're installed. If they're not perfectly leveled, if they're like cockeyed or they run at an angle, because of the centrifugal force that's being generated, that's the reason why they need to be level, is they need to spin perfectly flat. But if that fan is now pitched, what happens is the motor is then having to work against gravity, and now all of a sudden it drastically diminishes the life of said air conditioner, and that's when you're going to start running into problems like right away. So all those things added up to like just not wanting to deal with it at all, because it was just issue after issue after issue. That was just like, okay, it's like, yeah, all these things we can work into like the seller like doing and stuff like that, but there's only so much they're going to be able to do when it comes to the armadillos. They're not going to like completely fill in all the networks of caves and whatnot that the armadillo did up, and there's no telling how much damage is already being done to the substructure of the home, to where right now it might not be a big deal, but 5 years down the line, is the entire southwest corner of the house going to collapse? I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's dramatic, over dramatizing and all that stuff, but you just don't know. You don't know. So yeah, they could have come out. They could have gotten like a trapper and all that stuff out, but it wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it at that time. It's like, you know what? We'll just kind of reset and start from square one. So then we found another house, and it actually worked out infinitely better because it's a new build. It's about 50 grand cheaper, and it's about the same size. So it worked out incredibly well. Incredibly well. So thankfully everything's like working out so much better. Hence the reason why I'm in such a better mood than I was in the last stream, because then I was just so overwhelmed with everything that was going on, all the paperwork, all the kind of jargon and lingo that's being tossed around. It's like, oh, well, you got this agreement, and you got this settlement, and you got this thing going on, and that, and all these different like terms, and like you're basically signing up for mountains upon mountains of debt that if for some reason something happens, now all of a sudden you are still in mountains of debt and you don't have a home. I mean, yeah, that's likely not going to happen. But anyways, long story short is that it was extremely stressful, and I was feeling it, back in the last stream. Now things are starting to calm down, and now it's just onto the more physical portion of the move. So that I can handle. I can handle physical. Let's see, where was I? Ken says shop yard needs organized. Oh, 100% it needs organized. I need to deal with that badly. Jonah says no, you have to actually mail it to me. I mean, again, I'll mail it to you. It might not get there in the best of shape. It might be kind of bleh, but yeah, I'll certainly mail it to you. That's fine. That's I mean, if you want, you got me on Discord. You know how to message me. I'll send you a slice. Oh, let's see. Samuel says, I think King Cobra snake at Florida. Oh yeah, no. I'm not aware of like a king cobra in Florida. There's definitely diamondbacks down here. There's the coral snake down here, which those things are. Those actually are so nasty they make you remember a rhyme. Because there's two types of snakes down here, and they look very similar. There's the coral snake, and there's the was it the rat snake? Something rat snake? Anyways, they make you remember a poem. And it's because there's 3 colors on the coral snake. It's red, often yellow or orange, and black. Those are the 3 main colors. but the rhyme as I have it remembered is red on black, friend to Jack. Red on yellow, kill a fellow. So basically looking at the band's colors, whichever colors are touching each other, remember that rhyme, and there you go. You'll know which ones are actually venomous versus which ones are the kind of, mocking the venomous ones. So yeah, if you got red on black, you're okay. Friend to Jack. Red on yellow, run away. No touch. Bad things will happen. Reaver says, you sure you're only 42? Yeah. It says on my license plate, or my driver's license. Yeah, no, I'm only 42. Are you saying I look old? Dang. Taco says, so if inspection is bad, the price goes down, everything can be repaired, but it is the problem of the owner, not yours. No, and yeah, that's 100% true. That's 100% accurate. But it's just one of those where it was buying too many what ifs. And after all that kind of said and done, just wasn't good fit for me. And like I said, we found a newer house and it was cheaper, and it was the same size. It's actually bigger acreage. The first house was a half acre. This one's a full acre. So I mean, it worked out really well. At the end of the day, I'm far more pleased with the second house, and there's no renters. There's nothing that we had to worry about in that regard. And personally, I think it's in a better area. It's still really nice and quiet, but it's not as far off the beaten path as the first one was. So it makes my wife a little happier, because she wants to be closer, not right on top of like what we're at now, but she wants to be closer to things, like not 20, 30 minutes away kind of thing. Like I said, I don't care about that. I don't care about that whatsoever. If I have to drive 20, 30 minutes to the store, I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. But she was having, like hard times trying to think about, coming to grips with that. So at the end of the day, this one just works out much better. Ken says, wait until you get to your late 50s, early 60s. Only then you want peace and love, happiness, mostly quietness. No, right now I'm in my 40s and I want peace and quiet. Like I am a 40-year-old with a 70-year-old's mentality kind of thing. It's like, get off my lawn. Get off my lawn. Give me my peace and quiet. Like I've never been a big partier. I've never been a big like into drinking or anything like that. So I don't have like wild rambunctious parties or anything like that. I am more akin to just like, I would much rather have all my neighbors be in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Even if that means like, oh, they're the nosy neighbors, or they have like nothing better to do besides try and spy on your everyday. Like, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all, because I just pretty much keep to myself. I'll go and introduce myself and say, hey, I'm Dave, and let them know like we're new to the area, and just kind of do the general like neighborly kind of things. As a matter of fact, my next door neighbor, really great guy, really liked this guy. And he's got 2 kids of his own, a teenage girl and a preteen boy. And my wife and I, we had old bikes that we very rarely used, like bicycles. And I went over to him and was like, hey, no, you got the 2 kids and whatnot. And a few years ago, his daughter left her bicycle out in the front yard, and unfortunately she got it stolen. And I remember him telling me this a few years ago. He's like, hey, do you happen to have you happened to see a bike laying around anywhere? My daughter said that she left it out and now she can't find it. I told him, nah, I haven't seen anything like that. And that's, I remember at that time when it happened, but it wasn't like for certain that it was stolen at that point in time. And it wasn't until here he just confirmed that it was stolen. So because my wife and I had these old bikes, like, hey, do your kids want a couple of bikes? I mean, they're used. They probably need new inner tubes and stuff like that. But I mean, they 20-30 bucks later, new tubes and maybe some chain oil will be perfect. They'd be able to ride around the whole neighborhood. And he's like, oh, well, my son already has a bike, but my daughter, he confirmed that hers got stolen. She's like, but she would absolutely love one. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll bring it over later on this afternoon. I brought it over, and she was super thankful and grateful, and he was really appreciative, and he's like, oh hey, you mentioned that you had a boy's bike as well, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a full blown adult bike. He's like, well, do you mind if I have it? He's like, then we can all go out as family, and they're gonna go out for family bike rides and stuff. I'm like, dude, absolutely. It just, one, it prevents us from having to take it with us or take it to the dump kind of thing. Because, like I said, we just don't ride it. We just don't. And they're in need of repair, and just not really something I'm caring to do right now. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll bring it over. You can have it. It's yours. And yeah, I went back and grabbed it, brought it back over, and yeah, they got new bikes. They're rocking and rolling now. So yeah, it was awesome. Let's see. Psycho Kid 73, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Says hello BDD Gaming. Well, hello Psycho Kid. Farmer Groot, how you doing? Hope you're having a great one as well. As I had fun on Sunday night. Thanks BDD and Will for letting me join. Absolutely, was really glad to have you on there and was able to join. Had an absolute blast. I have a real good time on Agribusiness Tonight, the Sunday show there with Will T Gaming. Big shout out to Will T for doing that show with me. I have an absolute blast. I love being able to go through and kind of discuss something that isn't a kind of staple to the channel. When it comes to like mods, I don't get to spend a lot of time to say, oh yeah, check out this mod, check out that mod, all this kind of stuff, or like I really focus on maps and updates and the content that I'm doing, kind of doing more of a let's play and more role play for this new series that I'm doing on Matopiba. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. The whole time I was recording it with JP, I was just hysterically laughing. Every time that we had to take a cut from the actual dialogue and stuff, I was just rolling. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's because, I know JP and I know like his kind of humor and all that stuff. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast recording with him. And yeah, it's nice to be able to do, like with Will and the Sunday show, it's nice to be able to do that kind of content that isn't like the norm kind of thing. So it's nice. And that's also why I'm loving doing Farm Sim Talks. It's also not the norm. It's something new. It's something, exciting and fresh kind of thing. So all in all, like I said, it's an absolute blast to do it on Sundays, the Agribusiness Tonight. And Groot, I'm really glad that you had fun. I'm genuinely glad that you had fun. And yeah, I would love to, have you come back one day and join us again. Samuel says, I think alligator and crocodile at Florida. Oh yeah, we got alligators down here. We don't have crocodiles. We got the gators down here though, and yeah, they're good eating. If you've ever had gator tail before, it's delicious, just delicious. Tastes like chicken. And I know a lot of people they don't really mean literally tastes like chicken or anything like that. For like, I know it was like a running joke, especially back in like the 90s and 2000s. Like, tastes like chicken. No, this legit tastes like chicken. Legit. Psycho Kid says, gave you a... I appreciate it, Psycho Kid. Hope you're enjoying the content so far. Let's see. So, I think we're all caught up there. And like I said, we're just kind of going through and plowing things out. Doing this particular field here. What other contracts we got at our disposal? Nope. That's. Oh, we got a bountiful contracts here. Ooh, we got deadwoods and rock removals and whoo boy. Look at all them contracts. It's just my cup overfloweth. What kind of contract is this? Okay, you're going to come up to the property here and you're going to pick it up down the northeast corner of the property and you're going to take it to the southwest corner of the property and we're going to pay you $5,000 to do it. Okay. You know what? Why not? Why not? Because, I mean, that's $5,000 just to go, like, from one corner to another. Are you kidding me right now? Absolutely. Sign me up. $5,000. You know what? YOLO. Oh, my goodness. I'm just you're gonna spend $5,000 to have me go from one corner of the property to the other just to be able to do this nonsense? Heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, and I'm just cutting through fields. My give a care button has not been pushed. Oh goodness gracious. Love it. Absolutely love it. Alright, where's the pile? Where's the logs? Wait, what? Oh, it's right there. I see it now. Well then, let's get these logs. Oh, this is gonna be a tight space. Yeah, that's alright. We'll figure it out. There we go. Alright, let's see if I still got it. Nope. What? What just happened? Oh, come on now. And then get that one runaway log. Oh, hey. Pay attention to what you're doing there, buddy. Turn, drop, grab, lift. Oh, the trees are in my way. I am just failing something fierce. I used to be able to pick up like 5 logs at a time. Oh, really? There we go. Ken says, BD needs a big Volvo front loader with grapple logs. 11 logs go in one. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I got really good with that Volvo front loader. The high lift or the high low or whatever it was called. I got really good with that. Yeah. Really, really good with that. Some reason I used to be able to pick up like 5 logs at a time with this set of. Oh wait, there's 4. Oh no. I am just failing. Come on, slide back. Slide back. There we go. We're gonna get this. We are gonna get this. There we go. Oh, we're doing some big concentrating right now. Oh dear. Swing it back in. There we go. Let's see. Todd says, and that is why I use the auto load wood trailer. Yep, you guessed it, PC. Though I do like using the big bag handler from the I think it's CSZ pack. Now, if that's just if that just be released again, 100%, 100. I cannot wait for the CSZ pack to come back out. You know, I really hope that's coming because holy smokes, it's an amazing pack. But I will take, excuse me. They did just release something that, yeah, here it is. This thing here, the big bag support, does almost the same exact thing, except it hooks up to the big bag lift. Oh, love this thing. So glad this is here. At least it's like short term, kind of alleviates the issue. Ooh, 2 logs. There we go. Let's see, pack this down a little bit if I can. Let's see. Ken says BDD is playing pickup sticks, but with logs. 100% I'm playing pickup sticks. And I'm doing a terrible job at it. Like, I was really good at this for a long time over on Riverbend. Now all of a sudden I take, like... Oh, wow, actually, now I'm thinking about it. It's been a few months since the last time I did a contract like this. It's been a while, so... I guess it's one of those skills you don't use, you lose. Ooh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be... Yep. Called it. Oh, for crying out loud. All I've got to do is just get these into the truck. Really? Really? That's the game we're gonna play? Alright. So, yesterday, my brother-in-law had another one of his friends over, and I got to introduce them to a show called Attack on Titan. Oh man, it was so cool to see somebody else's reactions to the show who got to watch it for the very first time in front of me. It's one of those shows where if you're even slightly into anime, even if you like, even if you're not really into anime, this is one of those where it kind of bridges the gap between like anime and people who do like it and don't like it. My wife, she's not into anime whatsoever. She could not care less about it. But even she loves Attack on Titan. She loved it. And I ended up telling my brother-in-law's buddy this. And it's like, look, you're going to be hooked after the first episode. No doubt in my mind, first episode, you're going to love it. And sure enough, we get through the first episode. He's like, can we watch the second one? I'm like, not only can we watch the second one, we can watch as many as you have time for. And sure enough, we end up getting through like 4 episodes. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be watching this. So I kind of figured you would. There we go. Something like that. And I think... Why? Settings. Nope. Settings. Interactive zone markers. Up. What? Why did it sell? What? Huh? Huh? I mean, there's no more trees. There's nothing here. Huh? What? What? Why? What? What? I don't get it. That's all the trees. That's everything. Why did it not complete the contract? And that contract cost me $250. Awesome. Oh my goodness, are you still not done? Okay, you know what? We're going to help him. We're going to help him along. Let's go back to this. Where is it? I think it's on the other farm. Pretty sure it's at the other. Yeah, it is. Okay, I know where it's at. I remember. Oh, hey, there's a tree there. Alright, so we are going to go and help out that other plow with a better plow. Where is it? Okay, it's over there. Okay, I know. Yeah. Now we're going to be cooking. We're going to rip through the rest of this contract. Oh, hey, there's a telephone pole there. I looked down in the comments. I got distracted again. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's boogie out to this field over here. Yeah, so let there be light. Now we ought to see that percentage just go rocketing up. That's my hope, at least. Unless we get another bad contract. All right. Ken says at least 2 or 3 months BDD since Riverbend Springs. Oh yeah. I know, it's nuts. Like, it's... I got to thinking about it, and it's like, wow, it's been a long time, and... Come on. Come on. Let me through. Let me through. Bob and weave. Stick and move. There we go. There we go. Time to go. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. We're at the 87% mark now. That's not bad. Let's see. Todd says, sure you didn't drop a log somewhere? I mean... At this point, anything's possible. Anything's possible. I mean, an alien could have come down, picked up one log from the back of my trailer, and then just, there you go. It's just gone. My logs have been abducted. Ken says, dope, bogus contract, LOL. Yeah, That's basically what I think it is. Have you noticed that there is no plowing contracts with Lizard MT plows? Yes. Yes, I wish that that was a thing. I really wish that they would just, like, okay, here's the Lizard plow, go for it. I would even take the Lizard 6M. You know, be perfectly honest. I'd take even that. You know, this one here. This one. Yeah, Lizard 6M. I prefer the MT of the two, but let's see. Go. Yeah, we're just chucking it around. 96%. We're not even one full pass around the entirety of the field just yet, but we had this go rocketing up. %. We're almost there. $98. Come on, come on, come on. 99, come on. 99. Ooh, yes, contract complete. And 20 grand, okay. Not too shabby. All right. So let's go ahead and park this set of equipment, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through the, stuff for the channel, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So once I can get this parked, we'll quickly go through all the to-dos. Go park this once again. Let's see. All right, perfect. Now it's time to go through some of the stuff for the channel. So let's start out with our members. Let's go ahead and bring this up on this tab here. Like that. And all right. So first things first, let's go ahead and start out with our Tier 3 channel members and give them the shout outs that they rightly deserve. We got Ken Adlam, Philippa Thompson, Whiskey Creek Farms, Pipin Paul, and Rail Fanning Jonah. Thank all of you so very much for being Tier 3 channel members. I greatly, greatly appreciate every single one of you. And then we are going to take a look at our Tier 2 channel members, and they are Mark K, Lonnie J, and Reaver Time Todd. Thank all of you for being Tier 2 channel members. And if you're interested in becoming a channel member and helping out the channel, go ahead and check out the link in the description below or the main channel page. You got the little join button, as well as under this stream as well, there's going to be a join button. If you decide to check out those join buttons, you have one of three options. First one being our Tier 1 memberships, 99 cents a month. You get the early access to edited content such as the channel shorts, as well as the new role play series, aka what used to be the former Let's Play series. You also get custom badges and custom emojis. Again, starts at 99 cents a month. Then you got your Tier 2s, get everything I just mentioned here, plus you get the shout out, just like you heard just a few seconds ago, for being a Tier 2 channel member. That starts at $4.99 a month. And then lastly, there's the Tier 3s, get everything I just mentioned before, plus they get the opportunity to be able to come onto live streams with me to be able to either join me in game or join me via audio only. That and a custom discount code to the channel merch store. That starts at $9.99 a month. Again, I want to thank every single one of my members. I also want to thank every single one of my subscribers. Thank you all so very, very much. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Without you, this channel is nothing. It's just me talking to nobody. So again, thank you all so very much. I genuinely and deeply appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Also want to give a shout out to the actual merch store. Go ahead and check that out there. If you're interested in picking up some merch, go ahead and check out bddgaming.creator/spring.com. There you can get things like Jasper. You can get I Follow the 4Fs. You've got just the typical BDD Gaming t-shirts. And again, I want to thank every single one of you who have gone out and purchased some merch from the channel store. Greatly, greatly appreciate every single one of you as well. We've got Will T Gaming, we've got Jody, we've got Crimea River, we've got Ken Adlam, we've got Pippa, we've got so many people, Jonah, who have gone out of their way to purchase stuff from the merch store. So again, thank you all so very, very much. Also want to give a shout out to the P.O. Box. If you're interested in sending anything to the channel, go ahead and send it to P.O. Box 6136 Hudson, Florida 34674. Now I will say this is going to change. More than likely this is going to change very, very soon, because I'm not going to be in this area any longer. Going to be moving, so yeah, going to have to figure out something to do for this. But if you do send something to this, please include your YouTube handle name so I know exactly who to give the shout outs and thanks to. And then lastly, let's go ahead. Oh, hey, that didn't come through right at all. Let's try and fix that. We've got some screenshots to take a look at. Looks like they're coming through now, but they are of course not. There we go. Will T Gaming, I want to thank you very much for sending these in. Looking very good. I believe this is his farm here on Alma, Missouri. And it's looking really, really sharp. Just like the last farm was there on FS22. FS25 is looking really sharp all by itself. Now, I know he was saying how there wasn't the rocks to where he could put in the rock walls and do stuff like that. But we'll let it slide for now, Will. We'll let it slide for now, but until then, we do expect you to eventually get those rock walls in. Eventually. Once of course, they're available. But no, it's looking good. It's looking really good there, bud. I like how this is all set up. You've got everything really kind of working and looking really sharp. It looks very, almost compact. Oh, yeah, see, look at that. That's a really good view right there. The kind of third-person overview. I like that a lot. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for sending these in. And let's go ahead and go to this. And it is now 1 o'clock in the morning. And I just want to, again, thank every single one of you who came out here and hung out with me tonight. Had an absolute blast, as I always do on these live streams. Just, again, thank you all so very much. Like I said, without you all, I'd just be some random kook talking into the microphone to nobody. So, greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I know it was a bit shorter for tonight's stream, but like I said, the next opportunity I get is going to be a live stream. Is going to be, the full kind of... the full stream kind of thing, to where we're not going to have to start late like what we did today. But again, I also want to thank you all for coming out and on such, such a big rapid shift. And like I did, pushing it back an hour and a half gave me enough time to be able to get all the work that I had to get done. So again, thank you all so very much. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I know I sure did. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. The shows you're engaged with this channel, enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.